Hello, adventurers. Tonight, we're talking about some worm like monsters in the world of Dungeons and Dragons. Remorhazes, is that the correct pronunciation? Remorhazes, superheated Arctic arthropods. And I have the purple worm is on deck. Although this particular purple worm was 3D printed out of FDM. So that's a plastic purple worm. I like the size of it. I think it's pretty good. You can see a little adventurer there. My baker is always used for scale. But jumping back into the Remorhazes, I just noticed recently that we have some orange coloring here. And I never noticed the keyword, well, not really keyword, but the point that this guy is superheated. So I guess to go under the ice in the snow, he would or she would heat the scales up to a glowing orange and melt their way through the snow. So I'm going to go back in here and just kind of hit some orange highlights. This whole thing was washed in a blue contrast. We talked about our Citadel contrast. We talked about Army Painter contrast. We have some Vallejo contrast. But I'm just going to put some orange on top of this contrast paint. It's one of my favorite oranges. It's a super bright orange. It is a troll slaying orange. Put this down a minute. I guess we don't need this guy to be spinning over here. We'll get to him later. So going over the Remorhazes, it's a superheated Arctic arthropod, and it looks like a dragon, but it is actually a worm, and he heats up his scales, or she heats up the scales, and they travel under the ice. Their habitat is Arctic. Remorhazes are centipede-like terrors that burrow through snow and ice to ambush small creatures in their frozen territory using these superheated scales. And I'm just picking these out with some troll slaying orange to go under the ice. So we have two types. We have a young Remorhazes and a adult. CR5 for the small, CR11 for the large. So let's just go over the small one here. Large monstrosity, unaligned. 14 armor class, initiative 11, giving it +1 to initiative. Easy to hit. It's not going to be going first unless it has some sort of ambush. It has a hit points of 93, and that's going to be 11 dice, 10 plus 33. So if you wanted to up it, you could be well over 100 hit points for even the baby one, the CR5. So that's going to be 4 level 5 characters. Could reasonably expect it after an encounter or two to be able to take this down. It has a speed of 30 and a burrow of 20. I would expected the burrow speed to be a little bit faster. It's not that great, but it'll get going. Has a strength of 18, a dex of 13, a constitution of 17, intelligence of 3, which is basically like insect, dumb animals, a wisdom of 10, and a charisma of 4. It doesn't have any bonuses to its saving throws. It's just going to be that base kind of stat line on the saving throws. It's immune to cold and fire, which is kind of funny. Those are the two of the major spell effects you'd probably be throwing out would be cold and fire. So ray of cold, fireball, completely immune to it because it has this superheated body that travels under the ice, and it has immunity to cold because it lives in the Arctic. Dark vision 60, tremor sense 60 feet, excuse me, and a passive perception of 10. Tremor sense of 60 is huge. You're not going to be able to hide from it if you're invisible. Although its passive perception isn't great, invisibility isn't like an automatic kind of, kind of getaway. So I think that's pretty cool. We're looking at no languages, CR5 traits, heat aura. At the end of each of the Remorhazes turns, each creature in a 5-foot emanation emitting from the Remorhaze takes 11 fire damage. That's 2d10. So it'll be up to 20 points of fire damage. I like the orange the way it looks, just kind of picking it out. I didn't even think to have that matching orange there. I gave it blue eyes instead. It has a bite attack. A bite attack is a +7 hit, 5-foot reach, 15 average damage. That's 2d10 plus 4, up to 24 points damage. It's piercing, +13, 3d8 fire damage. I kind of painted this like poison. It's the way the model was made, 3D printed. I guess the artist figured it would be dripping some sort of venom, but really it's doing fire damage because it's superheated. A young Remorhaze is scorch and consume any creatures they chase down and overwhelm. So this is going to chase you down and eat you. To have a little scale, I have my Baker. It's my little Baker guy. So it's a pretty good scale. We have a nice large base here. Let's look at here is the adult Remorhaze. That's a large monstrosity unaligned. Armor class on that one is going to be pumped up to 17 with a +5 initiative, 15 average, 195 hit points. That's going to be 17 dice 12 plus 85. So you can get well close to 300 hit points with that if you're going to max it out. And the burrow speed is much better here, 30-foot burrow, 40-foot base speed on lands. Some of the stats include, and keep in mind these stats are not adjusted above any crazy save modifier. So strength of 24 is given a +7, and he's got a +7 save for strength. Dex is 13. Constitution 21, that's a +5 save. Intelligence of 4, -3 save. Wisdom of 10, charisma of 5. Immune to cold and fire, just like the baby. Dark vision 60, tremor sense 60, which is good. This is no languages, CR of 11. So at a 300 hit point creature or thereabouts, 195 out of the book. But you can pump that up based on its hit dice. You're looking at 4 level 11 adventurers after fighting maybe 1 or 2 little things. Hey, Bacco 84, thank you. Hey, Alex, thank you for subscribing. Hello, Alex. Martyr. Thank you for subscribing. I am trying to get to, what's up? I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. We talk about D&D all the time, so everyone counts and is valued. Thank you. Very cool. AML services. Yeah, this is the Remorhazes we're talking about. And let's, I'm going to show you something else, guys. We're going to Purple Worm. So the Purple Worm is going to be next. We'll go over his stats. This one is made out of FDM. It is, hey, thank you, AML, for subbing. That is much appreciated. You guys are getting us super close to 500. Really appreciated. So look at this guy. He's just going to get eaten. Oh, right into the Baker's going into the mouth. So this is a Purple Worm. We're going to do that next. Right now we're focusing on our Remorhaze. And if you're just joining us, I am painting orange on the back of this to match the monster manual description because this thing goes under the ice. I'm good at making stuff. Thank you so much. I 3D print stuff. Link in our bio. We have an Etsy store. And it's all D&D stuff. Hey, thank you for liking it too. I appreciate that. AML Services Co. Yeah. So let's continue with this. I would say immune to cold and fire, dark vision 60, tremor sense 60, heat aura. Also, the baby has a heat aura, but this is going to be a little bit bigger. At the end of each of their Remorhazes turns, each creature in a 5-foot emanation takes 16. That's 3 dice 10 fire damage. 3 dice 10 up to 30 points of fire damage from being within 5 feet of it. And who's going to be within 5 feet of this monster? It's going to be your fighters, your rogues who have to get close to stab. Barbarians are going to be up there. The people sitting back and shooting are going to have it a little bit easier. Too much orange there. I'll wipe that down. Too much orange. Actions: bite, +11 hit, 10-foot reach. I like the 10-foot reach on it. +11 hit is pretty significant. Hitting an armor class 20 more than 50% of the time, and it is doing. Looks like it's just one attack around, which I'm surprised. Thank you for the likes, guys. It's a CR11 creature, one attack around, and no legendary actions. I don't know. I think it's not as dangerous as you think, but maybe the bite will make a difference. Bonus action, strength saving throw, DC 19. That is a pretty high DC. That's getting to the higher level characters. You'll need a level 10 or 11 character or paladin to give you those bonus saves to kind of help you out there. DC 19 saving throw. One large or smaller creature grappled by their Remorhazes. It can swallow up to 2 creatures at a time. Whoa, whoa. Oh, what is this made of? This is made of, okay, this guy here is made of resin. So it is a mix of clear and gray resin. Let me see if I have an unresined guy here, an unpainted guy. This is a little cobalt, and it's just like a gray resin, and it cures with UV light. And the purple worm is made of, I painted the bottom. This is plastic. It's called FDM. It's actually 2 pieces somewhere, I think maybe right here. That's where I put it together. So it's a plastic, and it comes out of a 3D printer. My workshop's a mess, but let's give you a quick look of the 3D printer. So here we are printing bases for Battletech. That's a 3D printer. That is the plastic that we have. And here is our resin printer, which you can see the bases going up and down. And here is a curing station. That is UV light that cures the resin. And this is a USB card. And you buy the files, and we have sponsorships and licensings with different companies where you put the computer file on here. It tells the computer to print. Same thing over here, USB card. It tells the machine to print. And then this is like a finished guy. You got a mushroom guy. We have a spore queen. And we'll go over those another day. A spore wizard is a fungus wizard. Yeah, cool. Thank you for the big red hand. So, we're going back to Remorhazes. Okay, let me get back to this bite, because I think the bite could make a huge difference. This creature comes at you, DC 19 saving throw, and he bites the guy. He's grappled. If I fail to save, the target's swallowed, goes into his belly. The grappled ends. The swallowed creature is then blinded and restrained. It has total cover against attacks and other effects, and it takes 10. That's 3 dice 6 acid damage plus 10 fire damage to start each turn. So 20 damage around, but it can actually be up to 6 dice 6, up to 36 points a round. If the Remorhazes takes, well, thank you. It is fun. It's for Dungeons and Dragons. You could fight this monster in game. Play D&D. This is the monster man. You can fight it. Okay, so this guy can take up to 36 points damage, half from acid, half from fire. If the Remorhazes takes 30 points of damage from a creature inside of it, it has to make a Constitution save, and it's making it at +5. So if it rolls a 10, it'll pass. So he has to roll 1 to 9. It'll then vomit them out. If the Remorhazes dies and a swallowed creature is no longer strained, it can escape from the corpse by using 15 feet of movement, basically cutting themselves out. So that is the Remorhazes. It's a CR11 creature. Not super scary, but it can actually swallow 2 creatures around. And if they're inside the belly, they are negative disadvantage to fight. And yeah, it can really mess them up. So let's put him off to the side. I was using Citadel, Troll Slayer, orange. And let's slide over this guy. I think we talked about Nun oil before. It's a very messy product. We're going to hit him with some Nun oil, the shade. But first, let me go to the Purple Worm page. The Purple Worm. What gnaws at the root of the world. So this, oh, look at that. I just broke it. I'm going to have to glue it. You can see the inside plastic. It must have broke once before. Oh, thank you. I hope I go viral one day too. So I'm going to glue that in a minute. Well, I can actually glue it as I talk, I guess. We're going to use super glue. You can buy this in Home Depot. And we're going to use a zip kicker. That's an accelerant. It makes the glue stick fast. So, what is a purple worm? Why is a purple worm? They habitate the desert and the underdark. So now, if anybody really knows anything about D&D, has played, they know that the underdark is the under earth of the world where the drow elves live and the evil elves live. And that there's lots of bad monsters down there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give us a little spray here, right there. And this is gonna freeze up instantly when I drop on. Oh, look, I missed. Oh my God, I'm making a mess. You guys are seeing me fail forward here. I'm totally failing. Super glue is not working well. All right, that'll seal up there. There's like 7 people watching. Yeah, people, they're watching me make a mess. Look at that. Okay, I'm gonna do that when I'm not on the not on camera, because I'm making a complete mess. And I don't think I'll paint him. We'll just maybe take a minute to talk about the purple worm. I'll put him off to this side here. I have a butcher for scale, and let's go over a purple worm. Titanic purple worms burrow through the earth and sand, ever ravenous. They devour small creatures and entire communities in their aimless burrowing. A little bit of a Dune feel, I guess, right? Dune inspired. Let's talk about the CR 15. This is a huge monster. It's a gargantuan monstrosity. Has an 18 armor class, which is pretty high for a monster. A +3 initiative. Initiative's okay. 247 hit points average, but that's 15 dice 20 plus 90. So you can go much higher. You can be close to 400 hit points on this. If you want 50-foot speed on land and 50-foot burrow, it's okay that you are making a mess sometimes. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. I made a mess, but hey, the nice thing about 3D printing is I can basically glue, fix, and paint everything. So if it breaks, it's okay. Or maybe a warrior chopped his tentacle off. Let's see, 28 strength. I think 30 is the max in D&D. So max +9 to its strength save. Not a great dex. 7 dex. Throw fireballs at it. Throw lightning bolts at it. Throw any spell at it that needs to make a dex save. Will probably fail and take full damage. 22 Constitution with a training in it, so +11 con save. Don't not do that. Intelligence saves -1. Can a first level sleep spell put down a purple worm? Put down a. Hey, a little McFlurry. Oh, I think I've seen Little McFlurry before. You've been on. Thank you for coming back on and joining us. We're talking about purple worms, and I'm making a mess, and I even melted my glove. Purple worm, 22 con, 1 intelligence, the lowest intelligence. It's just mindless. 8 wisdom, 4 charisma. It has blind sense 30, tremor sense 60, passive perception 9. It does not speak any language, and it is a CR 15 monster. It's a big monster. It is a tunneler. The worm can burrow through solid rock at half its burrow speed and leaves behind a 10-foot tunnel in its wake. So basically, this thing creates caverns in the Underdark. This thing goes through dungeons, and what it leaves behind, the drow elves would actually, use these tunnels. A purple worm rarely tunnels back in its own tunnel. It likes to make new tunnels. I think they even leave gems behind in some of the lore. They'll actually drop gems and stuff. It has a multi-attack. It'll do, again, this purple worm is a little bit different. My version is different. It has a multi-attack. It makes 1 bite attack and 1 tail stinger attack. The bite is +14 to hit, so it's hitting most everything. It has a 10-foot reach, 22 hit points damage average. That's 3 dice 8 +9 of piercing damage. If the target is large or smaller, which is most players, it is grappled and restrained, DC 19. And guess what? This creature has in common to the Remorhazes. It likes to eat people. This swallows, and the purple worm also swallows. So these 2 monsters are big swallowers. They love to eat the adventurers. Going on to its tail attack. The tail stinger is plus 14 hit with a 10-foot reach. That's 16 average damage, plus 35 poison. The monster manual does not do a great job of giving you all the background and lore. Purple worm venom is one of the most dangerous venoms in the Dungeons and Dragons world. I think it costs 2,000 gold pieces per dose, and it does just a ton of damage. And 35 is the average. That's the Dungeon Master can say it does 35. The DM could roll 10d6 and hit you for 60 points of poison, plus another close to 25 points of piercing. Swallow. Strength saving throw, DC 19. It's one of the bigger saves. One large creature or smaller grappled by the worm. It can have up to 3 creatures swallowed at a time. So the Remorhazes can have 2 creatures swallowed. The purple worm can have up to 3 creatures swallowed at a time. They have to make the save. If they fail, they then swallow by the worm, the same as the other one. Blinded and restrained, and total cover against attacks outside. So it seems to be an ongoing theme. If you're swallowed, you're blinded. That's disadvantage on attack rolls. You're restrained. You have a movement of 0. You can cast spells. You can attack at disadvantage. It has total cover against attacks and other effects outside. So people attacking outside will raise your armor class. You take 17 points of acid damage to start each of the worm's turns. That's 5 dice 6, so it could be more. If the worm takes 30 damage, again with the Remorhazes, it was the same. If the worm takes 30 damage from a single turn from inside the creature, it has to make a DC 21 Constitution check. And remember that it has plus 11 to that save. So it needs to roll an 11. There's a 50-50 chance, if you do 30 points damage, of vomiting you out. But if you have 3 guys in there, it's all the creatures are vomited out within 5 feet and they're prone. If the worm dies, they no longer restrain. They can use 20 feet of movement and exit prone if they have the movement. I would also let them. I can give you a shout out. AML Set Vices Company. I have no idea what you do, but you are watching and commenting, and we appreciate that because the comments are good. It helps people follow, and you subscribed. Help me get to 500 followers because I love Dungeons and Dragons. So those are my two worm stories. Let's see, maybe we'll spray it first. Hit it with some spray, and then we'll hit this with some glue, keeping it separate, and hopefully I don't glue my finger together because it's extremely painful. And this is just leaking all over the place. I'm gonna have to print a new purple worm. That's why I wear gloves, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining me for 25 minutes tonight. I'm going to take the gloves off. I'm going to clean the glue up, and I'm going to continue painting. Every couple days, I do some videos on creatures, whatever I happen to be painting. Yesterday, we did the pumpkin golem, and we did the pumpkin king, and we haven't really touched those yet. So if you want to go back and watch our other videos, we appreciate that. And the last one we did yesterday was, I was in a Halloween mood, the Headless Horseman. So, all right, guys, I hope you get some D&D games in, and I hope you have some real-life adventures. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, following. Have a great night.